Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jehliel, and tomorrow we have the retrogradation of Saturn. Tomorrow is July 13th. And also we have other aspect that was part of the full moon in Capricorn, but it is perfected tomorrow. And we are talking about the Sun in Cancer, creating a trine with the North Node in Pisces and a sextile with the South Node in Virgo. So this transit could accompany this last aspect. Ladder could accompany and be something that helps us with the retrogradation of Saturn in Aries, because as we know, not always is easy to establish boundaries or doing so in a conscious way. This retrogradation is also to recognize from which places we are acting, whether the lack of action as the impulsivity, taking action without purpose or without a purpose aligned with the soul are, the polarities of Aries. And using this energy in a constructive way could be linked with learning to identify, for example, if we have to be involved in certain situations, if we are using our aggressiveness in an assertive way, for example, to say enough in a situation and and prevent that from escalating to other levels. But Saturn in Aries could also present challenges to avoid respond in a reactive way in situations that are activating certain aspects of our identity, or reacting to imbalanced energies, imbalanced external energies of other people. So, well, it is an opportunity to learn about our own mistakes and imbalances too. So, depending on the circumstances, this could be more or less challenging. And what happens it is that when we are, defending something with a lot of anger, it is very complicated to do it in an assertive way. And I think it is important to evaluate if we are seeking for understanding when we are dealing with other people. I do think that there are situations in which we don't have to seek for understanding. I mean, if a person is approaching us with an insult or calling names, for example, that is a signal for not staying there, because there are bases of respect that the other person it is not using. Or vice versa, if we are having problems with self-regulation, it is best to take time out and to find our center. So, with understanding, I am not referring to forcing the other person to understand or to see our point of view, but to try to explain that in the best way possible, without the intention of attacking the other, and also to listen with curiosity the perspective of the other person. Because if it's not that way, what for investing that energy? Even it is better to redirect that to other space. And if we don't practice this, many times discussions are turning into emotional discharges and in projections of things that we have transited, that have hurt us, for example, that we are interpreting, and with the ones that we are identifying with. So, as I was saying a minute ago, trying to impose that we wish, we desire that the other person can see or understand in an authoritarian way, it is the shadow of Saturn in Aries. So also occurs that many times we don't have the possibility to generate agreement, even if we have that intention, because the other person it is not with the disposition or don't have the tools. And in other cases, also linked with Saturn, we could be in a situation that is presenting in a restrictive way, and that right now we aren't finding the way to change it. So it is also a learning, recognizing these experiences, and even if it's frustrating, not finding a way, or even this could be felt as unfair. I think it is best to leave to the cosmos what we cannot solve right now and to focus in other thing, because this could also be a challenging for the egos. Many times we are attaching ourselves to how we think that things should be reequilibrated, rebalanced, sorry. And when we learn to let go of what we cannot control, and then we reveal the purpose of things happening this way. And also, eventually, everything starts to fit, the pieces start to fit again, so we can move forward to something that is better. My English is weirder than ever. Okay, so with the Sun in Cancer in these harmonic aspects with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo, there is this wonderful opportunity to listen to ourselves in an easier way, to connect with the wisdom of the water, and to choose in a new instance the path that is nourishing us and that allows us to feel inner peace. Even if everything is not defined or controlled under the parameters of the mind that many times are very limited, because in Pisces we don't have a concrete form. It is like floating in the waters of the sea. And instead of battling with the currents that are pushing us, both internal or external, we learn to swim in them. And with the South Node in Virgo in its shadow, many times it is about wanting to everything to fit into a logic, understanding everything, or that everything has to operate in a known system, and not always we access to that logic, not because it don't have it, because there is nothing random in cosmos, but because we don't have enough information in the mental level to comprehend, or perhaps we aren't opening our minds. So this is the challenge with the North Node in Pisces. Learn to guide ourselves through our intuition, through what brings peace, even if the experience is going through is trespassing the limits of our mental plans. And well, it is also an aspect of opportunity to liberate ourselves from excuses that the mind sustain as a way of not moving forward. For example, if we are creating something and we are seeking for the details and the imperfections that constantly to generate obstacles to not present that project, to not share it, or to not initiate. Well, this transit is the opportunity to transcend that and to connect with the emotion, because emotions could be related to more elevated processes of the soul, as enthusiasm when we have a creative idea that can contribute to other people, or joy, the joy of sharing or receiving something that we have worked a lot to for that. And well, connecting with the emotion, it is precisely what leads us to movement, to the decision that generates spaces of fertility and growth. The Sun in Cancer, what helps us to create home, whatever phase of the path we are, whatever place we are. And well, everything that we are impulsing from that space, the sky right now, it is accompanying us to align to ourselves with that and to also generate opportunities. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.